Jay. Yep. Yep.
No, that's good. That's good.
Shot, Mark.
Oh, boy.
Beauty, great throws.
Good sweep, guys.
Shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Statistically in a really good place.
Whoa.
I don't mind the guard.
I don't either.
Sorry, where did you have this? Here?
I know that
Yeah, that should
maybe
be-
you're only setting yourself up for a couple, but
Well, they're buried. Does Mike's got to make the run back or gamble and play the freeze?
Low 7.
The freeze, chips off. You get 3.
What is it, 3/4?
Looks like a 2/3.
If you play this freeze, he's got a free run at the double on the center line side.
I agree.
Plus, this has to be in a good spot, or there might be a crazy
Even a
triple.
triple.
Yeah.
Well, you could hear.
Yep.
Bounce a foot.
Oh,
Bounce a foot. Yep.
yep.
And bounce they do.
Shot, Brad.
Very nice.
Sweet.
Which I liked. Yeah. I guess you're sitting there going, "What's Mike McEwen going to miss?" And it isn't the draw.
Samagalski. Bang, bang, underneath. Oh, goodness. And now. Yeah, if you
Yep.
stay in the
Probably.
white.
Yep.
If you get the white.
Yep.
There's just that little bit of
Clean.
shot cut.
Nice throw, Brad. Really good.
Wow, here we go.
Well played in.
Sure is.
And I suppose I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, let's kill a red and sit 3 and we're back in the game. But that's not what he plays.
Not yet. And this is a lesson on patience. First of all, you don't need to hit the red at all. It's third shot, so you don't need to hit it at all.
Yeah.
But the problem is, pardon me, at this level, that yellow double is pretty basic. They might miss it, but certainly you can't give them more than one crack at it.
Yeah.
And also at this level, you know that they're going to be up 4. They're going to be hit. If you throw a guard, you know they're peeling.
Yeah.
If you throw a guard, they might just freeze to Y2 because they're not that good at peeling or something.
Yeah.
But so it's that. Put yourself in your opposition's shoes. What do you think? That if I do this, I think they'll do this. So they talk about hitting or freezing to the R2, but they're going, well, that leaves them a pretty makeable double. We can't leave them a team like that. We can't leave them 3 chances at doubles.
Yeah.
Likely that red just hasn't disappeared yet off the buttons at the bottom. The red hasn't disappeared yet, I think. Yeah, they could freeze on the right angle to that R2, or they could hit it, if they felt good about hitting. But they decided that it's they're pretty sure he's peeling because he's real confident making that double, but you only give him 1 crack at it. You can only give him 1 crack at it. So
So the dynamic here is, Jacobs wants to score 3. So he's going to, at some
have
point,
to score 3. Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to score 3. Yeah.
so at some point he's coming into the rings. And really the question is, when is he coming in? And he can delay that because he knows that McEwen's not going to get into a mess here. Like he's well up in the game. You throw a guard, he's going to peel a guard. And then he's going to wait until you go into the rings And at that point, he can hopefully make a double. And if you go in too early, he's got several cracks at a double. So is that basically what's going on? Is that the dynamic?
Yeah, there's two things going on. First of all, yeah, if you go in early and give him 2 or 3 cracks at a double, he's going to make one, and then you only get your deuce. And a deuce is not good enough here. Same time, he knows that he's gonna play some sort of appeal and give himself a crack at a double eventually, because he's absolutely not going to keep 4 on the table. So imagine, let's say this rock or 1 rock earlier, we throw a guard and they decide to draw.
Yeah.
And freeze down to Y2. And they just rub off Y1 and sit on a button. And I hit roll underneath. Now I've got 3 underneath that guard.
Yeah.
Now 4 is in play. So
Yeah.
he knows they will never do that. They will they hate
and that-
giving up 3. They hate giving up 3, but they will not allow 4 to come onto the table.
And that's the biggest difference between these guys and club curlers, I think, is that they see that what if. Like I think, you throw a guard here, I don't know, my guess would be a vast majority of club curlers would be drawn in and trying to stick one in there. But it's the what if, as you say, of like what if they rub the guard, what if they rub Y1, what if, and all of a sudden they're coughing up a 4 or 5. That's why you get these big ends, I think, in club curling.
Yeah, and it's a miss that's really, really close to being perfect. If I throw perfect back 4 weight and I want to freeze down to Y2, and it over curls by an inch or 2, and I just rub off the Y1 and sit on the button. I'm within an inch of making that shot perfectly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden 4 is in play. It's not like saying, okay, what if I miss an open hit or something? This is like, what if I throw a really good shot and I'm an inch from perfect? I'm bringing 4 into place. He knows that Jacobs knows that McEwen won't allow that to come into the calculation. So if you throw one more guard, he's peeling. And then he's going to have 1 crack at a double. And McEwen knows the same thing. I know I'm peeling, and I know I'm going to have a crack at a pretty basic double. Maybe a triple, maybe even a triple if he leaves it in the wrong angle.
And that was one of the biggest revelations for me when I started the Daily Curling Puzzle Facebook group was that these guys are in it to win the game, not the end. And I guess for so long I was just trying to win all the ends, and
it makes if you score every end, you win a lot of games, but it doesn't really happen that way.
Well, that's right. So yeah, right now McEwen is just looking at, I got a 4-point lead. I'm not giving him 4, that's for sure.
Yeah. Deuce is a complete victory here. They started this end game saying if we could give them 2 right now, we have 2 coming home with hammer.
Yeah,
I would take it right now, wouldn't throw a rock. Even 3, they're going, it's not great to give up a 3 ball, but I'm up 1 coming home with hammer. I still like my chances.
yeah. But really the objectives that are pertinent to Brad Jacobs are really McEwen's objectives, and he's thinking what McEwen here, he wants 2 is just fine, 3 is acceptable, 4 is unacceptable. And that's really
exactly. And that's the way that's the way of thinking about the last 3 ends of a game. You start thinking, and maybe even more, you start thinking about what happens, who's got hammer, how many am I ahead at, who's got the advantage here, and how will that affect my percentages to win the game. If this was the 5th end and it was tied or something, probably Jacobs does draw down to that 2 and says, I'm happy with my deuce, then I will get control of the game. And if you throw a guard, McEwen might say, well, I can't give up control of the game, I'm going to make this freeze, and if I make it, we're in good shape. But this is different. You're down to that how to close out a game. And it's so important. If you learn how to win, you have to learn how to close out a game and accept some distasteful results to still find a way to scrounge out a win. And all these guys have figured that out. They're just now, they've got control. They're going to find a way to maintain control and play it out and just win. Whether you win 10-9 or 1-0, it's the same thing.
Come on down, stick 1, maybe level with Y1 over by the guard somewhere. You don't want to, you want to be lying 3, I suppose, and leave no double. I guess that's one option.
It's pretty hard to sit 3 and do that, but yeah, you could just draw one on the other side of the rings and hope for a mistake.
Yeah.
I hate throwing hitting weight if I don't have to, because now if I roll out, the game's over.
Yeah.
I'd rather throw a freeze or a draw of some kind and end up somewhere in the paint, than throw a hit and roll out. So there's no need to hit his third shot. Like there's no
Okay.
need to.
Okay. So, I mean, you could freeze to it and make it hard to remove.
Yeah. It's just an easier shot. I think you don't need to be perfectly frozen so it's unremovable, but slop it in there somewhere, sit in front of it, bounce it back a foot, kick off it, just somewhere in the region to sit 3. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just as the first takeaway is putting myself in the other guy's shoes. I got to think about what McEwen is aiming for here. What's his objective? His objective is no 4s, ideally no 3s, but definitely no 4s. So he's not going to get into a guttle. And then I need to think, okay, if I do this, then he's doing this. If I come into the rings, he's playing doubles. If I stay out of the rings, he's just keeping it simple.
Yeah, I can't change the fact that he's got a pretty straightforward double there.
Yeah.
But I can give him only one crack at it instead of 2 or 3.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Time.
Thanks, Mickey.
You bet.